This is not the internet. This is the metaverse. Hello pioneers. This week I'm going to have a talk about the utility of mem coins, because there seems to be a lot of hype going around mem coins at the moment. There's not much utility going on there. So let's have a look at things and see if we can actually see whether these things are actually going to be anything. A few weeks ago, well, a few months ago really now, back in August, Woody invited me to this Spaces where he discussed mem coins, right? And I'll give you a little bit of inside information here. This is kind of the things that I sent to Woody that I was going to discuss, about rug pulls and all these things. And really, my whole thing was I wasn't going to be very positive with mem coins, because there's always lots of bad things associated with them. Now, that was until I found out that I wasn't going to be the only one on the Spaces, right? And Woody had invited the guys from Pi Inscription guys, and and this is great, no problem and all that. But then I kind of felt like, well, I don't really want to be shitting on mem coins, when there's an invited guest, trying to promote their project. So I dialed back what I was going to say, right? But for me, there really isn't a lot of utility in mem coins, is there? And there's a lot of stuff with rug pulls and not having docs teams and all this sort of thing, So there's a lot of things that we really could have discussed here, and hopefully I can do that here. But not only that, there really is utility behind mem coins if we just do a bit of research into it. This is the Spaces. It's on my channel, right? If you want to have a listen to it, I think it's about 2 or 3 hours. It's not bad. There's quite a bit of talking in it. So please yourself if you want to check that out. And these are the projects I want to have a quick talk about. Right. So 2 of these we know about already, right? That's the Pi Inscription guys and Space Pi, right? They've always been tapping into our communities and all that. They fully want to go minting their tokens once they're on. We get open mainnet from the core team. But currently, the Inscription guys are on. They're a BRC20 token, and the Space Pi they're on Solana, Ethereum, and BSC, right? So they're not really Pi projects yet. So that's all I want to say about those guys. And these are the main ones I want to talk about. And surprisingly here, I got 4 projects, but actually one of these is the only mem coin on there, right? So let's have a look at what we got here. And also, these are Stellar projects, right? And obviously I look at Stellar, I call it our cousin all the time. And, this is where I sort of get all my inside information and future prospects of Pi network, because being a fork of Stellar, we get a lot of insight over in the Stellar network. So let's take a look at the first one here, and this is called Dogstar. And it's probably the most well-known mem coin on the Stellar ecosystem out there. If you take a look at this Lobster wallet here, right? They just added a feature to list the mem coins, right? So if you press this button here, you'll get a full list here of all different types of mem coins, because Stellar's always had mem coins, because creating a token is really super simple to create on Stellar. But now with the introduction of Soroban smart contracts with Protocol 20, things get more complicated, because now the mem coins can have utility, right? So with that, we get these Dogstar guys who've been out there for a while. These guys actually are pretty good, right? They've Docs team, they've attended Meridian. They've been to Prague as well, right? So they're fully immersed into the Stellar community, right? They've been doing Ask Me Anythings. They've been talking with they've done like Spaces with Lumen Loop as well. Lumen Loop's kind of the main promoter, I guess, if you like, promoter channel on X. So they're doing quite a lot of those things. You know, they've got partnerships, right? They're always announcing, and they even have a burn mechanism for their token, right? So they've got a lot going on, these guys. Now, what do they primarily do, right? Well, they are pretty well a DEX, right? So they do the usual stuff like swaps and trading and all that type of thing, right? And if you look here, we've got the trading here, you've got the swaps, right? You've got liquidity you can provide in pools, and you've got charting, right, as well. And you know, to go along with this though, they also do a bit of a gamification, right? So where you can participate in these the gaming mechanism, if you like, of trades and all that, and get rewards. And they do partnerships with all the Stellar projects, including the Stellar Foundation as well, right? So, you know, as far as mem coins go, you know, these guys really just aren't a mem coin, right? And this is me logged into the game side of it. I actually haven't participated in this. I just sort of signed up to take a look at it. But yeah, it's, like I said, you know, as far as mem coins go, you know, these guys really tick all the boxes of what a mem coin isn't, right? So, you know, even though they broadcast themselves as a mem coin, they've got full utility of being a decentralized exchange, got a gamification type thing, and yeah, I mean, there's really a lot of things going on with these guys. So yeah, really cool project, and I just wanted to highlight that. So that was a really good example of a smart contract mem coin with actual utility, right? Now let's just move on to this next project here, and they just came out on Stellar, right? And they're actually called XL Mem, right? So I think that's a play on, you know, obviously XLM, and they do making of you know, your mem coins with smart contracts. Makes your life really easy to create, right? So they've actually got they're available on a lot of chains, as you can see at the top there. So it's quite surprising that it's called XL Mem and only just come onto Stellar. So I wonder if that was always, you know, in their mind to do that. But that doesn't really matter. So you click on this create your own mem token here, and you can see you can just fill in all your information and you know, do your icon and all that sort of thing, and super easily just launch a mem token, right? And this is one of the things that really caught my eye, because when these types of things come out is what really drives adoption, right, for people to, you know, create their own coins, because obviously people don't really have a lot of technical knowledge to do all this coding necessary for creating smart contracts. So yeah, very interesting project that this came out. Now, one that you know, I've always known about for quite a long time is Lumen Swap, right? Now, Lumen Swap is another DEX, right, which is very popular on Stellar. It's all peer-to-peer, right? It's all self-custody, you know, so it's all great on their ecosystem. And with Lumen Swap, you know, they can do all the normal things, like you see. They do NFTs as well and a few other things. But primarily, you know, obviously because of the name Lumen Swap, you know, swaps is what they are known for, right? Now, Lumen Swap recently just did a pivot, right? And they are now called Lumen, right? Now, there's not a lot known about this yet. It's still new and newly announced. And so I'm not really sure what anything's going to look like or anything like that. I assume they're going to keep all the old functionality of the DEX, right? And then just add in, similar to the XL Mem, you know, creation of mems made easy, right? So that's what I think is coming. But the real reason that I really took note of this project was this post that they did, right? Because when you read through this, right, this is highlighted for me, right? And they say, imagine cult memes for tackling climate change, funding scientific research, political protests with a fun theme, and rewarding public goods. And as you can see, this is giving a whole new light onto what memes could actually be, right? With real utility, But not just the usual Web3 utility, right? If we can start to use MEMS in this type of scenarios, now MEMS, they actually have utility, and they actually have a real purpose in Web3 technologies, right? So this is what I really want to cover, going forward in this video, and really see what all this is about, and how important this will be for creating MEMS. So let's take a look at each one and see what we could make out of this. So first one, tackling climate change, right? Now, as you know, United Nations, the World Economic Forum, all these guys have a lot of these sustainability goals, right? Which they're really pushing forward with. And, if you start putting this sort of agenda, through mem coins, you can start to bring on public interest. You also start to monetize this stuff through Web3 technology, right? So no longer, donations that, can be non-trackable, right? So you can do all that sort of thing. So you're first off, you could do a UN climate change mem coin, right? And be able to fund sustainability goals, right? And push agendas through that, where it's not really, a typical mem coin, but, a mem coin with actual purpose and trying to drive some kind of worldwide change, right? So really, really cool. Funding scientific research, right? So over at Stanford, they've got their Stanford HAI, right? This is all their artificial intelligence and robotics and all that type of thing, right? And again, right, they could launch their own mem coin, right, where people could show their interest by going into a mem coin with a university, right? Obviously, many universities could do this, right? And like I said, it gives you real utility of a mem coin, while still sort of bringing in, other aspects of the mem coins, like easy recognition and all that sort of thing, right? So really, really great, a lot better ideas for mem coins, if you like. Political protests with a fun theme, right? Now, political protests, obviously you could, make a mem coin for all sorts of protests. I mean, I don't know, like say Black Lives Matters or something like that. But I wanted to focus on here was, you've already seen how you've had the Trump coins and all this sort of thing, right? You could actually make a mem coin, right, to show support for your political party, right? So this shows another functionality of mem coins, right? And a functionality we've already seen. You could carry this further, right? So you could use mem coins for an individual CEO of a company, right? This could also help in, say, at board meetings or shareholder meetings, right? You stake your mem coin, right? Your bag of that, and that gives you a vote into, saying who's CEO or what direction the company goes in and all that sort of thing. So these mem coins, they start to take on a lot better utility this way. You can take this further in like Web3, we know we're going to have DAOs and all that sort of thing. So, in our case, you could pick your favourite pioneer and, and he could have his own mem coin, right, that you could go into. And then you could stake those mem coins in the DAO to show support and voting and all sorts of things like that, right? So, yeah, this is a really, really good mechanism. And like I said, the mem coins that are all sort of shit coins at the moment, now you can start to see a really, really good use case for them. Now, this is already happening on Aqua, another stellar project, right, which is, I've shown you before, which is an AMM. Aqua is primarily used to vote for their on their DAO, right? So anytime they make a change to their policy or anything like that, like liquidity rewards for their pools, anytime they want to do a change like that, they do a vote, right, where they add in, they stake their aqua, right, and you get it back, right, but in the vote you stake it, so you've got skin in the game, right, and it's all trackable, isn't it, right? So yeah, you've already seen this mechanism already. Funny enough, you'll see on the top of this, they've got a mechanism called bribes as well, right? So that's always interesting. I'm not really sure if we want to be introducing that into Web3, but it is there, you know, so that's worth noting. So the last one is rewarding of public goods, right? I just picked a sort of a random post out there that had the hashtag, and you can see that they've got here like things like disaster prep, urban planning, and research and education, right? So you know, public goods. There's a lot of things that can come under this this class. They've also got another class here, commercial use, things like insurance, real estate, and engineering, right? So that's something that you know, we can take note of. You know, lots of things come under this. You know, food relief programs, right, is obviously something that's very, very important. You know, this is a great public good. I've already covered before the role of UNHCR with the Stellar Aid Assist program, right? You know, they're very, very active in providing well, a UBI really at this stage, but they've got food programs. You can see here they've got a food program run out of Australia, and yeah, this is a great use of a mem coin, right? So you could have a mem coin for this, and you know, contribute and support through that. The last thing you know, I want to highlight as well, comes out of Stellar, is this thing called Snappy, right? And Snappy is another one of these tools that's come along, and I haven't seen anyone else do this, but it's putting in Web3 links into the X platform, right? So now, instead of actually having to go off and learn how to do swaps and exchanges and all that sort of thing, you can just put a HTML link into the page, into your post, and it'll just execute all that through there, right? Obviously you need a wallet and all that sort of thing, but you know, I'm sure we're going to be getting a Web3 wallet on X sometime soon. But yeah, this functionality coming out, you know, is just another great use of Stellar. And you know, this is how they're going to, you know, make it easily adaptable for the public, right, to be able to participate in blockchain. Going onto their website, it's a very basic website. It's pretty well all this has got there. One thing I noticed, their partners, you know, obviously Stellar, but they had another one here called Aleph Zero, right, which I've never heard of. And this is interchain privacy, right? So just wanted to highlight that in there. So maybe you want to do your own research there and check that out as well, because that's a chain I hadn't heard of, right? So I expect to hear more of these guys soon. And that's it for the video, right? So like I said, you know, we always know mem coins to be known for rug pulls and all the bad things of crypto, right? But yeah, that post really sparked my imagination of, you know, yeah, mem coins with real utility, run by, you know, worldwide organizations, you know, non-profits, all that type of thing, food programs, right? There's really a lot of utility here that mem coins can have. And with Stellar bringing on these ways of making it very easy to create them, you know, really brings on a lot of adoption real quick, right? And obviously this doesn't have to be Stellar. Once we get open mainnet, all our protocol upgrades to the Pi network, we'll have all this functionality as well, right? Which is the very reason why I look at Stellar, right? So yeah, that's it for the video. I thought that was really cool stuff. So I hope you really enjoy it. And have a happy new year, and we look forward to 2025 and the launch of Open Mainnet.